Hey guys, so Isaac got a wife. Her name was Rebecca, and then him and Rebecca started having kids, and they had two boys named Jacob and Esau. This is the account of Abraham's son Isaac. Abraham became a father of Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebecca. All right, so there it is. The sister of Laban. Laban was her brother. Laban's going to come into the picture a little bit later. Alright, so Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was barren. Isn't it interesting that so many of the stories about awesome people end up starting with a problem? And a lot of times it's the problem that someone cannot get pregnant. They can't have a baby. And then the Lord will intervene and He will give them a child. And it's like almost like they love that kid more than they would have if they had gotten it without having to work real hard at it or without having to pray a lot. Sometimes God does stuff for us like that just so He has His own reasons, but one of them I think is just that we'll appreciate what we have more. Like you have to wait for a really a good car and you have to buy a crummy car to start with, or you have to wait for a nice house and have to live in kind of a little house to start with, or wait for a good girlfriend, Daniel Burnett, and then when you get one you'll be really happy about it. Or for Brittany, you have to wait to have kids because your husband wants to get out of school. Waiting is good. Waiting isn't always bad. So Isaac and Rebecca couldn't have kids, so Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was barren. And the Lord answered his prayer, and Rebecca became pregnant. The babies, plural, two twins, jostled about within her. And she said, "Why is this happening?" And the Lord said, "There's two peoples, two nations inside of you. All right, and the older one will serve the younger one." When time came for her to give birth, she gave birth to twin boys, but they were not identical twins. They were different twins. I don't know what that's called, but they were not identical. And first one came out, looked like Daniel. It was red, had red hair. It was red all over his whole body. Very hairy. They named him Esau. After this, his brother came out, and his hand was grasping Esau's heel. It's like they were fighting to get out of the mom first. Whoever could get out of the mom first. They fought when they were inside mom. They fought to get outside of mom, and then they fought when they were older, when they were boys. So Rebecca gave birth to them. Let's see. When Isaac was 60 years old. So he got married when he was 40, and they had kids when they were 60. They waited 20 years to have those two boys. I bet they're pretty excited about it. So the boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country. All right, so we know he was red, and he was a skillful hunter. That doesn't necessarily mean that he was a big old hulky, muscly guy, but that kind of what comes to mind, like the guy from the movie Belle, Beauty and the Beast. I don't know if you guys have even seen that one. The guy that's going to have a bunch of boys. I can't remember what his name is, but anyways, he's a hunter and he liked to hang out in the woods. And Jacob was a quiet man, staying among the tents. So he was, whatever that means, quiet and stayed among the tents. Maybe he was like Uncle Joe, who kind of hangs out around the house and cooks. And I know Uncle Ray likes to hunt, so maybe they were kind of like those two guys. So Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau. All right, so he really liked the boy that hunted because he loved to eat his food. And then Rebecca loved Jacob. All right, so that's a little okay and a little bad all at the same time, because every parent kind of has likes and dislikes about their kids, you know, and they like to hang out with they get along maybe a little better with one kid than the other, or they have more interests. They have the same kind of interest with one child that the others don't. But you don't want to ever do it to where it's like you love one and don't love the other, or only hang out with the other one. Like, I love Grace very much. She's my only girl, and we're gonna garden together, and we do stuff like that together, and she likes to cook and I like to cook, and there's things that me and Grace like together. Like, we used to go to the Pound, I can't remember what it's called, Humane Society. And then there's things I love hanging out with Daniel and doing. Like, we like to go on runs and play chess together and make yard art, and I don't do those things with Grace, and vice versa. But we kind of get the picture that maybe it was a little bit off, like a little bit too much. But we get that in quite a lot in Scripture. There's also like Isaac loved his boy Jacob. How did that work? Hold up. Jacob loved his boy Joseph, and like gave him special treatment and gave him a special coat and didn't give anybody else presents. So just be careful. I mean, I'm talking about when you guys get older. Like, we try to be careful and spend the same amount of money on all of our kids for Christmas, and because we really do love all you guys with all of our heart. I love you the most. All 4 of you the most. All 5 of you. Sorry, all 5, Brittany. 5 of you the most. And I think Mom tries to do the same thing. So, once when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came from the open country famished. Gracie says famished a lot. He said to Jacob, "Quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm famished!" Exclamation point, exclamation point. This is why he's also called Edom. Edom means red. I don't know what that has to do with being famished, but Jacob replied, "First, sell me your birthright." So he's trying to be sneaky, and then Esau says, "Look, I am about to die. What good is my birthright to me?" But Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So he swore an oath to him, selling him his birthright. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some lentils, which is beans. And he ate and drank and got up and left. So Esau despised his birthright. So I've always thought that Jacob was a crook, and Jacob was the bad guy in this whole deal. But I think Esau was really bad too, because he wasn't patient enough just to go without food for maybe a little bit, like a day or so. He gave up something really, really precious, which was not only was worth probably like $1 million, but was just a place of honor and respect, and something others would want really, really bad. And he just gave it all up because he was impatient. So Esau is kind of like the bad guy, I really think. I mean, they're both bad. Jacob shouldn't have they should have just fed his brother, but Esau didn't do so good either. Love you guys. Have a good night.